Hello, welcome Solex Nation. It is the end of October and we have a really fun announcement tonight.
Yes, several weeks ago we talked about Prime, one of our newest products, in fact our newest supplement product out there, and all that it does for cellular strengthening, repair, antioxidant strength, and all the resources required for it. But we addressed one of the needs that you have, many of you have, and that is those with the MTHFR variant. And so we talked about our efforts that were already in process to create the methylated form of Prime, specifically with the folic acid. And so we want to make the announcement that this week, by the end of this week, we are shipping. So as of tonight, those are for sale. Prime Methylated is now available for those with the MTHFR gene variant. That is the right product for you, for anybody that you know that has that situation and you've been hesitant to share. Now it's available. It will be shipping over the next couple of days for the very first bottles to those who want them.
This is exciting.
So that's a good announcement, right? As we said we would deliver, now we're delivering.
That's right. You know, we've had a lot of visitors in the office this week, which is always a fun time for us. Yeah. And just so you know, we are starting to film for Day of Discovery. And although that is in March, it is actually going to be absolutely amazing. And we have so much content coming to you that we are starting now. So this is a little reminder that those tickets for Day of Discovery are for sale in your back office right now. So hurry and get them while you can.
Yeah, and that's to run the what to expect, right? It's in March. It'll be available for you starting, there'll be this week viewing period for those that have tickets and access to that.
And it's only for that week. And then once that week is up,
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
No swag bags on this one. It's just the content. It's just the education. Last year, I think we ended up with felt like 10, 11 hours.
It was 11 hours.
11 hours?
Yeah, and we're not saying what the hours are.
We just know it's already a lot. It's a lot.
And there are so many speakers that are flying in for this, and just amazing content. So we can't wait for you to experience it.
Yeah, and Day of Discoveries are always fun. This one is hyper focused on the idea of choose your own adventure, so to speak, where we have a lot of different content. But you get to choose what content resonates with you. If you want to watch the whole thing just end to end, a lot of people do that. If you want to do watch parties, a lot of people plan those well in advance.
Those are fun.
But if there's something specific, and something maybe that doesn't resonate with you, you feel free to pass it up and go to the next video.
Well, and the good thing is during that week, you can rewatch any of the segments that you would like. So, all right. This week we have Disneyland, our Disneyland winners.
From the summer for our
Disneyland contest. It's happening right now.
So we have Beck McQuilty, we have Jessica Zavaios and Rita Dickinson. They're all there with their guests.
Yes. Yep. Having a great time. And we're actually going to hear from them in just a minute. But we kind of wanted to let you know, yes, that was a contest that we had, and that was a really fun one for us. But we do have a trip coming up that's for everyone.
Yes. So at the last Day of Discovery, we announced our first earn trip for everybody, incentive trip for everybody to Punta Cana,
Dominican Republic.
Yes. And so that timing for that began on September 1. And it ends on August 31st of 2023.
Yes.
That's the earning period. The details, just to be quick about that, is you have to have 15 people that have 3 months of 100 points. Well, it doesn't matter if they're QLAs or PCs.
It's an increase of 15 people, though.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. An increase. So you have your baseline. So everybody that's enrolled in September and now October and on, your baseline is 0, so you just get 15, right? And
if you're brand new here, and you're thinking, well, I'm late to the party. You're not late.
Nope.
Start now.
Yeah. And if you get to 20, it's a trip for 2.
Yes, if you have an increase of 20 QLAs or PCs that are actively enrolled with 100 points, and it needs to be for a 3-month period, including the month of August 2023. That has to be either the 3rd month or a month included.
Yes.
Then an increase of 15 is a trip for 1, an increase of 20 is a trip for 2. And if we have thoroughly confused you right now,
there's a document in the
back office, a PDF that you can download that will help you. And also we are going to have a banner in your back office coming soon to help you with the information on this.
Yeah. So understand what your baseline is. Where did you start, August 31st or after? And how many people, the 100 points is the threshold.
And if you need any help figuring this out, give us a call. Our customer service agents are always here wanting to help.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to turn the time over now to Rita, Beck, and Jess.
Okay.
And welcome, Solex Nation. Sorry, I had to do that.
Yeah.
I've been dying to do that for so long. We're here in Disneyland to announce the contest winners from last week. Rita, would you like to start?
Sure. Okay, and the contest was how do you use Seppi dots? And I just pulled Rebecca Rhodes.
Close.
I am using my Seppi dots to imprint exactly what comes up for me. Then each day I check and I print for that day. After 72 hours, I toss it and get a new one and begin over with checking each day for what I need. Now, after this call, I will be adding in Cellular Restore and Perfect Body to each dot. Thanks so much for the great ideas.
Awesome, well done. Second winner, of course I had to pick the longest one there was. Oh my gosh, it's Paige Haynes. Yes, Paige Haynes, well done. Thank you for writing such a long one. She says, oh my goodness, I love Seppi dots, and I have been using them for myself and my clients and seeing awesome results. Sometimes I scan, but every night I put on sleep, and every morning I do Perfect Body and Energy and scan to see what else I need. I worked with a little girl last week who was having trouble sleeping. The Seppi dot combined with kinesiology has sorted her out. No more sleepless nights for her mum and dad. I gave some to my mum as well for some shoulder pain on her arm that didn't lose the Seppi dot. She had no pain, and when the other one fell off, she instantly felt the pain come back. It was crazy. Her Bowen therapist also said her muscles were so much looser than before on that side where the dot had stayed on. So thank you, Solex, once again. You never fail to deliver.
Last one. Okay, this one goes to Lara Deming. I love the Seppi dots. Most recently, I scanned and came up with Perfect Body. I stacked that with a pain frequency and placed the dots on my navel. I had quite a lot of body pain, which calmed down almost immediately after I applied the dots. I have also programmed a dot with the homeopathic remedies for tremors and have seen great results with that. Yay, Seppi dots! Congratulations, you guys!
Congratulations to all of our winners. Seppi dots coming your way. And now we're going to announce the top enrollers from October 17th through to the 23rd.
Second place, we have Stephen Keller.
And Hannah Craig.
And first place goes to Paige Wheeler. Congratulations!
Great job,
Well
guys.
done.
Howdy, I'm Dr. Kevin Gursky.
And I'm Amber Moseley, and we're back. We want to talk to you today about a horse.
A horse named a little bit of AO.
A little bit of AO, that's exactly right. Named her because you helped me get through, well, actually, that's how I first met you, because of this horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called you out for this horse, and then recently, about a week ago, I go out to feed her, and she's limping. So this is my pride and joy. She's a racehorse, and so when you walk out and you see a racehorse limping, you're just like, oh no, cha-ching, ching-ching. So, but anyway, I scanned her and I sent the report to Dr. Gursky, and later on that day, he got back with me, because when you see a horse limping, I think you're going to have a video of that here. When you see a horse limping this way, your first immediate response is you need to call a vet and get a vet out there right away.
Right. And so the description of Little Bit, it sounded like something really serious in the foot, either an abscess, she stepped on something, or possibly a fracture or something going on like that, a fracture in either navicular bone or coffin bone. So she called me. I was a long ways from her. Couldn't get there right then, but I was going to get there that afternoon, and then she scanned the mare for me. Everything that we saw was up in the ligaments and the arteries in the antebrachium, so above the pastern, which gave me peace of mind. Well, that's not a great situation, but it's not the worst situation. It's not something that's emergent. It's not something that I've got to get there right this second. And we went to scanning, putting her on some anti-inflammatories, and she's doing fairly well.
Yes, she's doing a lot better. So it definitely gave me peace of mind, not to have to load her up. And the last thing you want to do is have to load a horse up, because I know you're really busy. You drive like 200 square miles.
200 miles, yeah. 200 mile radius.
We're usually out in the middle of the pasture doing surgery under a tree in the rain.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So it just made me feel a lot better that I didn't have to load her up and get her over to you if you couldn't make it. So
sure. And the same thing would have, that could have given other information. That could have given us information that, hey, you need to look at this mare right now. If the cannon bone, we showed lots of inflammation or inflammatory response in the cannon bone, we don't have a good x-ray machine. Okay, you're going to have to immobilize this mare at this moment. Don't let her move around. Don't let her walk on that leg. And I've got to get there right now. So it works both ways. I can cut out the routine dental floats and vaccines that I'm on the other side of Grand Prairie giving at this moment, and I can get to the crippled horse. Or if I'm at a crippled horse and you send me a scan that's it can wait.
Yeah.
Then I can maintain the animal that I'm actually working on that needs me a little bit more. So it's a great triage tool for that. But on top of that, we actually have gotten results by scanning and optimizing the mare. She's walking around much better. I sent my tech out the other day to trim feet, and he said, "Man, she's doing great." Now she got a little sore after she went out and ran around.
She didn't want to be caught. Yeah.
Yeah, she stormed around the pasture, and then after that, she kind of was limping a little bit. And my tech said, "Well, I'm not going to trim her feet today," which was a good call on his part.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mickey Steed. But the scan has helped us out. We've got the inflammation out, and the mare's getting more and more sound daily, and I expect a full recovery.
And the thing that I was, in my back of my mind, I was worried about, Texas just went through a big drought, and it had just rained, and then I was feeding that morning, it was raining, and she come up limping. I was like, great. She was running, happy for the rain. She slid. Because I did have another horse that did that and shattered his hock. So I was, past trauma, thinking, oh no. So then I scanned her and you're like, I think we're good, Amber. So that made me feel a lot better.
And my first thought, of course, when she tells me that that's going on, we're dry, we get a muddy situation. First thing you think about is opened white line, and we get an abscess up inside the foot. And an abscess can be devastating to a horse. We can get an infected pedal osteitis, which is actually the coffin bone starts getting eaten away due to the pressure of the infection against the coffin bone. And so there's a lot of serious things that can go on, and your first thought when you're thinking, okay, what's going on? I know what the environment is. I know what's going on right now. And everything kind of fits that way. The AO scan in this situation told me, no, that's not what's going on. We're in pretty good shape. So,
and I guess whenever we get back to Texas, I'll shoot a quick video and send it in and let all y'all see that.
So y'all trotting around.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, we thank you for allowing us here, and I guess we'll be back soon.
If they're going to have us.
If they have us back.
Hi everyone, so I'm back again. Today we're going to talk about the digestive system. I'm going to have them throw up an illustration for you, basically of your digestive system from the mouth down through the exit. And so let's talk a little bit about this digestive system. It includes and starts at the mouth, where you have saliva that is added to your chewed up food to help start dissolving all of those things that are in that food, all the nutrients. From there, that food is called a bolus, and that bolus transits through your esophagus. And your esophagus has smooth muscle, and this is automatic, where it squeezes that bolus down to your stomach. Your stomach creates a very acidic acid. So acidic that you could put drops of this acid on the paint of your car and eat the paint off. So you might wonder, how is it that your body deals with that? Well, your stomach is made for that acid, but nowhere else is. So as that bolus goes into your stomach, that gastric acid from your gastrin cells starts to break down that food, and then the stomach starts churning that bolus that is in there and creates something called chyme, which is just a more broken down lump of nutrients. So that next passes into your small intestine. And we'll get into the sections of the small intestine in a few moments. From the small intestine, the 3 sections of the small intestine, which does different things, it goes into the large intestine or colon. And then the water's reabsorbed there and it goes out the bottom. In the process, you have 3 organs that significantly influence the breakdown of those nutrients and the breakdown of that food so it can be absorbed. Those are the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas, and we'll talk about those in a minute. So let's talk about just the functions of the digestive system. The breakdown of the food ingested from the mouth is the primary reason that the digestive system is there. You have to break down that food to separate out the things that are useful to you and the things that are not useful to you. And there are lots of things that go in your mouth that are not useful to you. But your body does break down those nutrients. Those nutrients are fats, proteins, carbohydrates in the form of steak and potatoes and beans and all kind of other things. But your body cannot absorb those proteins as a whole. They're big. They're big chemical structures. So your body has to break those down into small chemical structures to be absorbed. And even after it gets into the cells of your gut to be absorbed, then you also continue the breakdown process so that your cells can use those nutrients. But it does absorb nutrients. It also removes toxins, chemicals, and drugs, and that's primarily the function of the liver. We excrete the non-digestible or indigestible waste that comes into our body that we don't have any other function for. And it also, as we've spoken about so much in the past, it houses the body's gut microbiome. So let's start at the mouth. Digestion begins in the mouth with the breakdown of the food by the teeth, by chewing. So as you chew, you are starting to break down the particles of food there, and you're mixing it with saliva, which really it's mostly water, but it's a mixture of that water and enzymes and other proteins that help break down the food. And like I said, that's called a bolus. If we don't chew well enough, then we create a problem downstream in our stomach. Larger pieces of food are harder for our stomach and our small intestine to break down. So if you don't chew well enough, don't chew your food just like your mom always told you, then it makes it much more difficult on the rest of your digestive system to break down that food. Then the food is passed, that bolus is passed to your esophagus, which transmits that bolus of food down to the stomach, and then gets to the stomach. And that hydrochloric acid that is made by the gastric glands is intense. It's mixed with other enzymes that digest the food into, like I said, we call it chyme now. Let's add the liver in. The primary digestive function of the liver is to create bile, and the bile emulsifies or breaks down fats. So the liver also has a role in filtration and detoxification of the nutrients and chemicals that are drained from the alimentary canal or the gut. And that happens a little further downstream in the small intestine. And as those are absorbed by the small intestine and go into that blood system, it goes directly to the liver to be processed there before it gets dumped in anywhere else. Because if you dump it in to the circulatory system at that point, then you've got all kind of toxins and chemicals and other bad things that would go there. So it has to be filtered before it can get dumped into your circulatory system and be sent where it's needed. So this happens in the hepatic portal system. And the hepatic portal system is a network of veins in the liver that take those nutrients, chemicals, and drugs. I mean, those pills that you take that you got the prescription from the doctor, that's where they go. They go through the liver and they get broken down. Sometimes they don't get changed at all, and they are active without being changed. Sometimes they get changed into an active form in the liver where they can actually do the job that they were meant to do. But this happens, the absorption of those nutrients happens a little bit further down in the small intestine. This mixture that goes to the liver is detoxified, filtered before it's returned to the central circulation. So let's talk about the metabolic functions of the liver. This is different than the digestive functions of the liver. So the metabolic functions, the carbohydrate metabolism, you've got three main sources of nutrients: carbohydrates, fat, and protein. So as we break those down, let's break it down. Carbohydrates are made up of saccharides. You have monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are like glucose, fructose, the sugar that we get from fruit. And then there are disaccharides, and sucrose, or table sugar, is a combination of one glucose molecule and one fructose molecule. And that's called 2 monosaccharides, and you get 1 disaccharide. So when that comes in, the liver breaks that down to glucose. The liver also forms new glucose, which is called gluconeogenesis. And that is when your body is under stress and needs more sugar to be released into your bloodstream. That sugar is created in your liver and released into your bloodstream. And the liver forms many important compounds during all this glucose metabolism. And it's tasked with maintaining a normal glucose concentration. We're going to talk about fat metabolism. Fats are made up of fatty acids. Multiple fatty acids make fat molecules. The liver has some specific functions in fat metabolism, such as oxidation of those fatty acids. It also forms most of the lipoproteins in your body and the production of large amounts of cholesterol. Yes, cholesterol. Your liver makes cholesterol, much more than comes in through your food. And there's a purpose in making that cholesterol. That cholesterol is the building blocks of your hormones. So without the cholesterol, you can't make hormones. That cholesterol also, your brain is made up almost completely of cholesterol. And there is a conversion of large quantities also of carbohydrates and proteins to fat. So why does that happen? When the nutrients come into your small intestine, you have carbohydrates, fat, and protein that come in. Those are absorbed. Some are needed right away, and some aren't needed right away. So when you eat a meal and your body has carbohydrates, fat, and protein that isn't needed right now, Does it just dump it back into the gut and get rid of it? Of course not. It causes the formation of fat. So that's where when you eat more than you need, which most of us do, you form fat. So let's talk about protein metabolism. The most important function the liver has in protein metabolism is deamination of amino acids. So we talked about fat and its building parts being fatty acids. Well, for proteins, it's amino acids. Amino acids join together to create proteins. So the liver converts some amino acids to other amino acids that you can't even get through your diet because your body needs those amino acids. There's also a formation of urea for the removal of ammonia from the body fluids and formation of plasma proteins. So let's talk about your plasma proteins. Do you remember in cardiovascular where I mentioned the arteries go out to arterioles and then they go to capillaries, and these capillary beds feed all your cells? Those capillary beds on one side are pushing out to push the oxygenated blood out to your cells, and on the other side of that capillary bed, they're drawing back the blood that is unoxygenated as well as the carbon dioxide and other waste products in your body. Well, those capillary beds, they leak. So fluid leaks out of that, and if you have too much fluid leak out, you get edema. That's swelling of your legs and your feet. And so the liver makes or forms plasma proteins. The plasma proteins are the proteins that are in your blood. They're negatively charged and they hold in the fluid into your vascular system. So if they're holding in the fluid, you're not going to swell up. If you've got plasma proteins there in normal levels, you should not swell up in your limbs. Now, there are other reasons that you can develop edema, but those plasma proteins hold the liquid in the vascular system and draw it back in. So that's a critical part of the liver's function, is those formation of plasma proteins. The liver also makes blood clotting products, stores vitamins, irons, and removes and excretes drugs, hormones, and many other substances. So guys, I apologize, but I've run out of time. Until next week, remember what you've learned, and we'll go from there. Next week, we'll start on the gallbladder, then we'll go to the pancreas, the small intestine, the large intestine, and there's a lot more to learn. And just hang on, remember what you learned this week, and you'll learn more next week. Thanks.
Okay, I think we learned a lot this week, Lauren.
We did. Dr. Tucker is always awesome, isn't he?
Yes.
So.
I love all the tie-ins of the particles with the energy, the frequencies with the chemistry, how we're bringing this all together.
Yep.
You know, at the beginning of the call, we gave away Cephi dots.
Yep.
For last week's contest, and one of the things that I'm really learning, and I know a lot of the comments on this are about this, of using the scanner with the other things in your life. Like for me.
Yep. It's awesome seeing the people get out of that comfort zone, get out of the box, stretch themselves a little bit, and do different things, combine different things. It's been awesome to see this happen.
Yeah, that creativity starts to take place, and we are amazed, I think, all the time at the creativity and solution finding that you guys have. Like I've started to use, I'll use my Cephi Cellular Restore with Prime. Because Prime is targeting the cell and restoring the cell to its optimal performance.
Makes sense.
I think this week, let's give away some Prime. Let's mix some of these together, right?
Yeah, and you know what's great? Now they have the choice.
That's right. We announced Prime Methylated is now on sale, and we're shipping those out. So let's comment on this call. Something you learned, something new you want to implement or re-implement in your life based on something you've learned either on this call or recently. And if we draw your name, actually on that comment, say whether you want Prime
or Methylated Prime.
Exactly, either one, and we'll draw top three people. We'll do 3 people next week and give away some Prime. Mix this all together.
This is good.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
So second place goes to Beck McQuilties!
No.
And Jessica Savalas.
Yes! And first place goes to Rita Dickinson! Yay!
No, that's a blooper. No.
Cut. We're not doing that.
Did we say
Self-declared.
something wrong? Did we do something wrong?
What?
Oh, was
What's
I
wrong?
first?
Take 2.
Okay. 2 silver coins?
Not 2 silver
Okay.
coins. I was going to say not 2 silver coins.
Our energy was so good.
That was so amazing. We nailed that, by the way. We nailed that.
No!
Shelby's like,
All I kept hearing was no, no.
Well, yeah, she said, I'm like, no. That's not who won. That's not who won.